Hey guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Elise and this is Read 'em and Weep. We're gonna ignore my background and all of my toddler's toys back there. Anyways, so you're going to be doing my October wrap up today. I read, I think, 10 books. No, I don't know how many I read. I don't know. I'll put the total up here because I don't know how many I read. We were gonna go over all of them today. I had a really good reading month. Yeah, it was really good. So I'm just gonna go ahead and get started. So the first book that I read this month is American Royalty by Tracy Livesay, I think. I gave this book a 3.5. It is a romance. It is a romance about a rapper named Duchess and the prince. And the royal family is throwing a concert for good press, and they end up hiring this rapper named Duchess to perform, and she ends up staying in the same house as the prince, and it's kind of like a close proximity romance, and they start falling for each other. It was pretty good. I don't really have anything negative to say about it, but like I said, 3.5. Okay, so the next book that I read was The Humans. Sorry for my lighting. Is The Humans by Matt Haig. And I read this for a reading blog. It was reading books. I guess it's like my finding new favorite authors blog. I will go ahead and link that down below. But I read this for that. I rated this a 4-star. This is about an extraterrestrial being who comes to Earth. He takes form of this professor, and he kind of takes over the professor's life. And when he gets here, he's really disgusted by humans. He thinks they're gross, he thinks they're ugly, and ultimately, while he's here, he ends up learning more about humans and maybe realizing that they're not so bad. The next book that I read in October was an indigenous people's history of the United States by Roxanne Dunbar Ortiz. This I read for a book club at my job that I run, and this is just it's part of a series. It's just kind of a revisioning of American history through different backgrounds, and so this is the indigenous peoples one, and it was very good, very informational, and I rated it 5 stars because it was just a lot of information. Okay, so the next book that I read was The Nightingale by Kristen Hanna. This I also read for part of my Finding a New Favorite Author vlog. This I rated 5 stars. I loved it. It was so good. So this book is about 2 sisters during World War II, and they live in France. And it takes place when Germany starts to invade into France. You have one sister who is just basically just trying to keep her family alive. Her husband has gone to fight in the war, and she is just home with her daughter, just trying to keep her family alive. And then you have another sister who is really rebellious, who ends up joining the revolution. The next book that I read this month was Things My Son Needs to Know About the World by Frederick Bachman. This I think is his only nonfiction. It's just something that he wrote to his son. It's really, really funny, and it's just like different lessons that he wants his son to know. And I rated this a 4-star. It was really good. The next book that I read this month was Devolution by Max Brooks. I read this for my horror book reading blog that I did. And I rated this a 4-star. I really enjoyed it. This book is about Katie, who has moved to Green Loop, which is kind of a commune in Washington that's kind of off the grid a little bit. But the thing about Green Loop is that it is off the grid, but not quite off the grid, because they still have Wi-Fi, internet, telephone services, meal delivery, grocery delivery, all of those things. A volcano erupts, leaves them stranded. No one can get into them, and they also can't get out, so they are kind of left to their own resources. And slowly but surely, different things start happening where they realize that they may not be alone in this forest. 4 stars. I really enjoyed it. The next book that I read is The Weight of Blood by Tiffany D. Jackson. And I rated this 5 stars. I absolutely loved this book. I also read this for my horror reading blog. So I will go ahead and make sure that that video is also linked down below. But this book is about Maddie, and Maddie is white passing. And something happens at school where she ends up getting her hair wet, and her hair curls up, and then people start to realize that she is not white, but she is actually biracial. And there starts to be a lot of bullying towards her. Video of this bullying goes viral, and the leaders at the school, in order to try to make things right, they decide to throw a integrated prom. So the thing about this school also is they have segregated proms, and so once the bullying video comes out and people start to realize, hey, this school also has segregated proms, what's wrong with this school? So they're trying to make things right, and they throw an integrated prom. This is a Carrie retelling. And so not only is all of this happening, but there's also the whole plot line of, maybe she has some powers and stuff like that. So very, very good. I loved it. 5 stars. The next book that I read is By the Book by Jasmine Guillory. This is a part of the Meant to Be series that I really have been enjoying. This is a Beauty and the Beast retelling where we have Izzy, and she works for a publishing company, and she ends up being tasked. She ends up taking on the task of helping Beau, who is kind of a celebrity recluse. So she ends up taking on the task of helping him write his memoir, and they start to like each other. Also, I rated this 4 stars. I really enjoyed it. The next book that I read in October is Love on the Brain by Ali Hazelwood. I ended up rating this one 3.5 stars. A little bit disappointed. The Love Hypothesis, I rated 5 stars, and I read all 3 of her little novellas, and I rated them either 4 or 5 stars. I really enjoyed them. This one, I really did enjoy the romance, but there were some elements of it that I didn't quite love. I'm thinking of maybe making a book review on this book alone, so that should maybe be coming out sometime this month. But for now, I rated it a 3.5. So just a quick synopsis. This is about Bee, and Bee has been given the opportunity to work on a neuroengineering project with NASA, and it turns out that her co-lead on this project is her old nemesis from grad school, Levi. And yeah, so I will go more into depth on my thoughts when I make its own video. Okay, the next book that I read, I think this was the last book that I read actually, is The Sad Ghost Club by Liz Meddings. It is a graphic novel, and it's just kind of a cute little quick graphic novel. It's about two ghosts who each are kind of struggling, maybe with some mental illness, some depression, and they really just confide in each other. They find each other at a party and they just talk and confide in each other, and kind of just help them realize that they're not alone and feeling sad. And it was just really cute, and I rated it a 5 star. I think this could be really good for some younger kids, and to help them know that they're not alone in their feelings. Okay, guys, so that is everything. These are all of the books that I read. Oh, this is all the books that I read in October. It was a really good reading month. Hey, you guys, comment down below. Let me know if you have read any of these books. I would really love to hear your thoughts on them. Also, if you like this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up, and if you want to see more videos from me, go ahead and subscribe, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.